Hey everyone, 10 hours left in the weekly vote on the Clash vote here in the Amazon App Store uh, Evony channel. Again, if you don't have that, I'll put a link in the description of this video. But do remember to vote for your favorite alliance. My alliance is kind of struggling a little bit right now, but even if you don't notice this before this week ends, there will be another, I think, 2 weeks of voting to go. Uh, my alliance will likely be eliminated, but that's okay. I'll put that link in the description of the video, and we'll get on to the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to OptimizEvony. I hope that your SVS is going well and you had a good 4th of July. But today's video, I'm going to do a little bit different video than what I normally do. I do a lot of the event updates and a lot of those kind of things. But today I'm going to change and talk a little bit about something that has changed in Evony, and it's by no means new, but it was a pretty significant change to how Evony operated before this change to how it operates now, and particularly how alliances, benefit you before and after this change. So the what I'm really talking about is alliance buffs. And there's been alliance buffs for a long, long time, right? Like you have your alliance science buffs that give you a decent amount of attack, HP, defense for all of these different things. But of course, do take a long time and gems and stuff like that to actually unlock them. Here, the max I think is like 30%, which is not a lot. What I'm really going to talk about that changed, and this maybe changed like a year or two ago, is that they've started releasing a lot more ways to get alliance buffs that didn't exist before. So one of the first ways to get alliance buffs was this one subsidy that that gave you an alliance attacking or alliance range troop attack, and I believe you can only stack this so many times. It used to have a 3x one here. This is only 15%, but for example, if you have an alliance that has multiple of these, which really can only happen because they aren't re-releasing this one. This can only happen if you merge servers. So basically, they're benefiting, servers that have merged multiple times, and they can kind of co-locate these subs into one alliance. But more recently, they've launched more and more subs that have alliance stacks as well. And the buffs have been getting better, right? Like 20%. And this is overall mount troop attack. There's one for siege, I know. There's a bunch of them for archers and things like that. But this is starting to become a bigger and bigger difference in your buffs and your alliance buffs, right? Because like 3 stacks, and typically they do limit to 3 stacks, but 3 stacks of 20% is 60% higher than what you would have regardless. And so what the big change here was is that it used to be you would have this massive coiner that would spend a ton of money on his account, and his buffs would be amazing, his or her buffs, but they wouldn't be able to really affect the buffs of their alliance. And so they would have a really amazing buffs. They would be able to solo people. They would be able to do some rallies and kind of do take the lion's share of the points and stuff like that. But what they can do now is they can basically stack up on all of these subs that give alliance buffs, and because there's no, I mean, you should absolutely have this sub be in an alliance, or be in an alliance mate that's joining battlefields and stuff like that. But there's no guarantee, or there's no reason why this can't be sitting on an alt other than it's just a waste. And so you can virtually stack these to 3 stacks of everything. Granted, they're not cheap to get these subs, right? Like, and people do pay a lot more money to get the alliance buff subs. And we'll talk a little bit later about keeps. But it is something where, like, I mean, there'll be a week where one of my alliance mates will spend this guy is in my alliance, and one of my alliance mates will spend, and my buffs will just increase with I haven't done anything, I wake up the next morning and my buffs are 20% higher, which is of course a good thing, but if your alliance isn't spending like that, if you don't have a big coiner, you're starting to get further and further behind, not really based on anything that you're doing, but just in the fact that like your alliance isn't coining enough or you're not coining enough. And so we're kind of moving past the point where like the main ways to get buffs are like research and like improvements that you can do to your own city. So the other way to get these buffs that I haven't really talked about yet is in the kind of big cities that are in the coining competitions. I've talked about the coining competitions and things like that, but the level 3 ones have typically have a own to activate alliance buff here. So level 3 here is again 20% range troop attack. And this is overall. So attacking, defending, reinforcing, all of that. Um, and yeah, we'll get into the active skills more too. But I mean, imagine you have three of these in your alliance. That's another 60%. So you can quickly see how like these things stack up. And so even for the free to play players in an alliance with big coiners, their buffs are going to be worlds ahead of the buffs of a free to play player in an alliance where you don't have a lot of Bitcoiners, even if their accounts are exactly the same. So this is really this is something that Evony did kind of start doing, and what it really does is it promotes creating these creations of these super spending alliances, right? Like you have like the VIG, RSP, all of the different ones. I'm not going to name them all. We all know that there's a bunch of alliances that spend a ton, and I mean they do have a lot of really good teamwork and things like that, but they are carrying their weaker members because they have a lot of alliance buffs here, and so this is the same for the past couple. Let me go to the past couple ones. Again, in rally troop attack, overall in rally troop attack. So archer, cav, siege, ground, all of those are going up by 15%. If you get the level 3. And that is actually the big difference between the level 2 and the level 3 keeps for this. Is you're starting to get more of those alliance buffs. Again, here, ground and mount troop attack, 10%, 3 stacks. So you could see, I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but like you can see that they just keep adding up and adding up. So if you do have a member that's in your alliance, or if you're lucky enough to have multiple members that are getting these level 3 cities, like you're benefiting immensely from that. So the other thing I will talk about with these is and I'll maybe go to this one, is the active skills. So one way that Evony has changed a little bit is the alliance buffs, but then the other thing is the active skills, where your buffs can theoretically increase by hundreds of percent when your alliance mates do the active skills. So for example, this one is mount troop attack, defense, and HP by 30% within 6 grids. And it also increases ground, mount troop attack, defense, and HP by 30%, by an additional 30% when you're attacking. So that's 60% mount troop attack when you're attacking, 30% when you're defending. But this is again a huge way that you can benefit your alliance, where like you're increasing their defense buffs by quite a lot. Obviously, it's increasing attacking more, but the defense ones are huge as well. Particularly if you have alliance mates that have a lower kind of buff ceiling. They don't spend as much. they just haven't, maybe they haven't gotten to enough research, maybe they're maxed on research, but like they haven't raised their keep level enough, or whatever it is. This is a way that you can directly impact their buffs. So these are kind of two ways that Evony has promoted this like super alliance, super spending alliance mentality. And so I, it is what it is, and we'll see this more. We're going kind of into challenge uh, time frame and stuff like that. So you'll see these massive alliances, maybe more than what you would regularly if you're a little bit smaller alliance and things like that. But I did want to just kind of point this out. It's there's nothing really to do about it. You either spend this much or you don't. I think some of the alliances have gotten a little bit smarter about like, okay, yeah, maybe if I'm going to be spending an absurd amount, I'm going to wait for this event and I'm going to spend that absurd amount and I'm actually going to get those alliance buffs for my team, because that's going to be more beneficial than me spending and getting whatever general, or getting whatever keep is available outside of these kind of big events or the big sub events. So yeah, that's really it. I'm not trying to complain, by the way. I'm just, calling out that like this is one reason why you might see, when you're watching a video on, one of the top alliances, you might see that their buffs are just like way, way higher than yours. And like, yes, they probably are coining more than you, but if you're a big coiner in a smaller alliance, your buffs are probably not going to be able to compare with the buffs in a big alliance because of that. And so I think that's really how these big alliances are starting to kind of pull more and more of the super coiners, into their alliances and be able to kind of just stack more and more buffs on each other. Yes, they do have limits, three per alliance, but like it's getting three of those is a lot. Getting one of those is a lot. And they are a pretty big difference. It's not going to be the difference between winning and losing in an individual match from just a single one of them. But, if you have enough of them, that is a big difference in between going positive and negative on any individual hit. So, and especially the active skills. I mean, if you're increasing your buffs by, 100, 200%. I haven't actually gone and calculated how much, the active skills actually do. I know it is a lot though. And like I know for example, let me find this one. Uh, this one again gives in rally range troop attack, 20% for 3 stacks, and then uh, this is range troop by 100%. So I, yeah, you can only have one of these active at a time, but like 100% is huge. So yeah, I guess this is just what the video is. It's just pointing this out. It's nothing too crazy. One thing I do want to point out is that challenge is coming up, and what they've done is they've actually changed it a little bit from what you were able to do before. Shoot. Well, okay, I can actually see it here. Um, but basically what they've done is now they have an in rally range troop attack, and then my game is not updated enough to actually see it, but they have an additional one that is only for the top 25 teams. So I'll maybe show you this in a follow-up video, but it does actually incentivize you to place in that top 25. Realistically, if you weren't going to place in the top 25 anyways, you have no shot at it. But this is one of the best buffs that they've given for a glory castle. So it is maybe worth trying to push a little bit extra and get in that top 100 to get these buffs. Good research and construction speed as well, because I think the other ones are not as good. Maybe they're 10%, I think. But this one has research and construction at the same time, whereas the other ones, you kind of have to switch between them. So, yeah, get ready for challenge. Challenge is going to be fun as it usually is. The other thing I will say, I'll just do a shameless plug for my alliance. If you're looking to play with me, we are building a bit of a team. We do have some bigger spenders, but we always can use more good players. And particularly if you're going to coin a little bit, we do have accounts available. So I don't usually make this plug, but if you do ever want to play with me, and you think that meets your criteria, always comment in the videos, or reach out to me via chat, and or mail, or something like that, and we'll talk and see if it's the right fit for you. But yeah, I would love to play with you guys more. But yeah, just reach out. That's kind of all I had for this video. I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm really not. It's just I wanted to point out that this has just been happening more and more in this game. Is like these alliance buffs are piling up, and so for the people who don't have those alliance buffs, it really is becoming a significant hindrance to them. So yeah, hopefully your alliance is more on the they have these alliance buffs, and not on the we don't have any of these alliance buffs, and you can continue to take advantage of these. But if not, maybe it is time to kind of cut your losses and move to an alliance that does have some heavier spenders. So uh, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you in the next video, and always do remember to vote in that Clash event. It does help you get it does help you win Amazon gift cards, and it's just kind of a fun little popularity contest. I think my alliance is probably going to lose that, but I mean, we're going up against like NFG, GOT, VIG. RSP, all of those guys. So it's not really a surprise. They have thousands of people in their discords and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. As always, I do appreciate you watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.